What is up, guys? My name is Bahwa and I am back with something a little bit different. Today we are going to be talking about comic books. Now, I've actually been wanting to do this for about a year now since I started last year, and I've actually kind of got hooked. Like, at one point I really got hooked into collecting all of them. Then I stopped a little bit because it's getting a little bit expensive. Comic books do get kind of pricey, especially if you're buying all of them. But I figured that why the hell not? I'm gonna start this. I'm gonna start this series, and just want to share you guys like what's up with comic books, because comic books right now are kind of like a dying breed because digital age and anime game or like video games and animated movies and such like that are the big thing right now. But comic books are still a pretty good thing, pretty cool thing to read, to like collect. You don't even need to like take care of them or collect or whatever. That's overhyped thing. You just gotta read it and like have fun. It's actually really fun to read comic books, especially right now with some of the series being for mature audiences and such. But for today, we are gonna be talking about one specific series, the first three issues of the new 52 Constantine. So let me give you guys a heads up on who Constantine is. So John Constantine is a self-proclaimed master of the dark arts. He is actually one of the people that are like well experienced with the dark arts, and his main goal is to stop people from getting too powerful or other mages from getting too powerful. He keeps an eye on things, and if he senses something that like there's a little bit of imbalance or something, he's gonna go there, gonna kick shit up, and that's what he does. That's what the new 52 John Constantine does. Now I'm actually specifying that this is the new 52 John Constantine. There's actually two versions of the Constantine. There is the Hellblazer John Constantine, and then there is this, the new 52 John Constantine. I will talk about the Hellblazer Constantine pretty soon in the future, maybe. I don't know if this works out. For now, I want to focus on the new 52 one because this is the newest one. This is the currently running series, and I want to get people up to speed on who he really is and what he does and everything. So yeah, this is the first three issues of the series, and this is also the first small arc of the series. So I'm actually just gonna give like an overview on what happened in the three series. So the first three series actually mostly about John introducing himself and to all that stuff. So basically, according to him, the mages are actually those people who cheats the system and everything like that. Even though they do not like, even though at first they don't really pay to get what they want, they just grab what they want and then don't pay at all. But in the long run, they actually do end up paying and stuff like that, which is actually pretty cool. As you guys can see here, this is actually tied into the DC universe in general. So the new 52 universe is all tied up together. Like if it's the main series, it's gonna be a tie-up with the other main characters. As you guys can see here, I'm not sure if you guys can see, but there's like a image here that is colored green. It's actually like a streak of green on the sky looking up. I'm assuming this Green Lantern because he's talking about costumes at points. So that's what he basically calls the superheroes as costumes. So basically, Superman, Batman, Shazam, Wonder Woman, everyone who's wearing costumes, he calls them costumes, which kind of makes sense, I guess. But then again, John Constantine in this series kind of has a costume itself, but I'll talk about that in the future. Here in the first issue, we met Chris, one of his friends, one of the people that trust him. He actually has a pain on his head, so he's asking John for help. Chris said that he's seeing some visions. John wants him to point it out in the minimap, or in the minimap, in the globe minimap. Oh my god, I'm so used to playing StarCraft. Wow. Chris right here wrote down what he sees. It's actually locations, destinations for a certain item called the Croydon's Compass. So the Croydon's Compass is actually currently broken right now. It's broken into three pieces and are separated in three different locations. So according to John, when someone sees it, someone else sees it. So basically, he is right now on the hunt to get those three pieces back because he doesn't know who else is after them. On the way to the first destination, he encounters one of the like people or the devil that wants to kill him, because you guys gotta know at this point there's a lot of enemies for John Constantine right now. A lot of people do hate him, or a lot of demons do hate him, and he's trying his best to just get by and like put them back to hell, as you guys can see right here. That like soulless or like bones, red bones, stuff like that. This is actually a pretty good drawing right here. Let me give credit to the person who draws this. So basically, Jeff Lemire and Ray Fox did the edit or did the writing for this, and then Renato Greatest did the art for this issue. So on the first destination, they are in Norway. an icy place. They went to an ice place or ice hotel right here where the whole thing is basically made out of ice. Pretty sure you guys already seen something or heard something about that, but yeah, it's pretty cool. It's a real thing. So basically here at this point, Chris has a vision about who is after the other parts, which is Sargon and the Cult of Cold Flames. So the Cult of Cold Flames is like started by four people, four powerful mages. They are Sargon, Zatara, Mr. E, and Tanarak. So according to John, Zatara is actually dead now, so it just leaves the three masterful or three other mages here. Apparently, it's actually not Sargon himself after the compass, but is indeed his daughter Sargon, and she's actually taken up his father's name or her father's name and trying to collect back or like try to like bind together all of the cultical planes once again. So basically, right now at this point, Chris is actually in big trouble as he is in the grasp of Sargon, and Sargon is saying that if you want Chris to survive, give me the needle, and everything will be over. But John, like unfortunately, John had to make the tougher decision, and he decided to bail out there. He bailed out with a needle, trying to do the best thing for the greater good. But unfortunately, he had to leave his friend Chris here, and Chris ends up dying. So this is one of those pieces of the story of John Constantine. This is actually a consistent thing with John Constantine. He always loses friends like on the way through like getting old. He loses friends, families, and loved ones, unfortunately. But yeah, this pretty much ends the first issue of John Constantine. Moving on to issue number 2. This time we are going to be seeing John arriving here at Myanmar to collect the second issue of the Croydon's Compass. But unfortunately, upon arrival, John here is taken by some Myanmar people who has machine guns, AK-47s, and everything like that. And he's actually he's being taken to somewhere like a small hut. He doesn't know why he's there yet until he sees Mr. E. Mr. E right here is like the guy who's all energy. You can see right here. So basically, Mr. E used to be a good guy according to John, but he lost his mind when he casted a spell that pretty much destroyed his vision and turned him to like a huge ball of energy. At this point, John right now is actually looking pretty bad here. His spirit is actually being like grabbed by Mr. E at this point, being squeezed out. So at this point, John is like feeling tremendous pain until John gives up the compass, which at this point he did give up the needle. That's one of the parts that John got in issue number 1. But in this panel right here, he was able to escape freely by telling a joke to Mr. E. I'm actually pretty surprised how he was able to get away. As you can see, it's kind of hard to see. Here we go. But then again, he was able to get away in front of Sargon, so getting away from Mr. E, a blind man, shouldn't be a problem for him as well. At this point, he does go to one of like an old house or a whole temple right here, and he sees one weird guy right here asking him, "Hey, who are you? What's up? Are you John Constantine?" "Yeah, I am. So why? What's up?" And then the Spectre shows up. Spectre is actually one of those Grim Reaper type of people where he kills people or passes judgment on people if they deserve to die or not. At this point, he decided that John Constantine needs to die because one of his like spiritual friends is a friend of Chris, the guy who died in issue number 1, and now he wants to take John Constantine's spirit away from him. But John did a bargain here at this point. He said that he's currently in war with the Cult of Cold Flames right now. They're very powerful mages, and unless the Spectre wants to take care of them, he's gonna keep John Constantine alive, and he's gonna try his best to cut off that group of evil mages, and then afterwards he can like lose his soul and give it up to the Spectre to pass judgment. The Spectre did agree to the discussion or to the exchange, and now we find John here inside the temple and finding the second piece of the puzzle, which is the dial. So right now at this point, one piece is being held by Sargon and Mr. E. The second piece is being held off by John Constantine, which is the dial, and we are off to the third issue, which is going to be encountering John here going to London. Oh, I forgot to mention, by the way, John is a European guy. I'm not even sure if he's from UK or from London. Is London and UK the same? Oh my god, my European friends are so gonna kill me. But yeah, so we find John here arriving at London, his hometown. He's actually kind of cursed here because like once he arrived here, he doesn't feel good. You look at that. He's like really bright white, and his eyes are like bleeding red, nosebleed all over. So I guess there's some sort of curse placed upon him whenever he does return to London and such. And then we do meet Jules, one of John Constantine's old friends, old sex buddies apparently. But at this point, Jules already has family and kids already, so they can't do that anymore. They're not allowed to do that anymore. So on the way to the third play or to the location, the third piece of the compass, they are actually casted, or there was a curse actually casted on them, and then like crashes all over here, cars and everything like that, and then they get teleported to a location unknown to them, which is basically a labyrinth. As you guys can see here, this is one of the nicer panels I actually seen in comic book, like from my comic book readings. This is actually a pretty cool panel, as I said. This is done by Renato Guedes and Ray Foxdale. So these are pretty much the same creative team as well that did the first two issues. So they're in what we call a labyrinth. This place is actually like a sort of like a maze where there's only one exit and such like that. John is actually at this point trying to look for the exit, but he couldn't find one, which he said is kind of weird, and it can't be because according to him, there are rules. Whenever you place a labyrinth, you're always supposed to place an exit as well. And then they encountered the Riddling Butcher. The Riddling Butcher is pretty much the housekeeper of this labyrinth. He's actually trapped here against his will, and he actually wants to get out of here as well. So John at this point made a bargain with the devil here as well. So the Riddling Butcher actually wanted to get out of here. So John proposed that, help us get out of here, then I'll tell you what, you'll get something. So basically that something is basically to get revenge on whoever put him in that place. So once they got out, they were able to finally go to the third place or location, but Jules actually has to go away, and John actually requested that Jules to go away because John was too scared for her safety and he doesn't want to put her in any more danger and stuff like that. So once he goes into the third location, Lucky, Sargon, and Mr. E are right there waiting for him already. He already has a guy here. Apparently this guy is actually one of the ancestors, or one of the, like his ancestors is actually a Croydon. So basically he's the last remaining Croydon, and according to John Constantine, this guy's eyes is actually the lens for the compass. That's insane. So that's basically what happened. So guess what? We do have the Riddling Butcher coming in here, gonna try his best to get out of that labyrinth, gonna fight off with Mr. Ian Croydon. He's also gonna get the eye, the third piece of the compass, and gonna take it with him. I think he destroyed this eye here at this moment, and then afterwards he was able to fight Sargon here. And John Constantine, being the clever guy he is, or slick clever guy he is, he was able to sneak out of there and go home safe and sound. According to him though, Sargon will just completely dominate the Riddling Butcher because Sargon is that powerful. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this adventure here. So John Constantine in the end was able to hold the dial, or keep one piece of the puzzle, which is the dial, the lens broken, and then the needle in the hands of Mr. E and Sargon, but doesn't really matter because you need the three pieces before you were able to use the compass. Duh. Overall, this first three issue is actually pretty solid in my opinion. Overall, it's a good start, and the writing team actually is pretty good. The creative team, excuse me, is pretty good. Greatest. I like his art style. It actually fits the universe pretty well. I like the gory stuff and everything like that. Should I give this thing a rating? I guess if ever I do give this thing a rating, I give the first arc a 8.0 because basically this series that isn't really like up to par to what I was expecting when I first read it. I got into the series, by the way, by watching the movie. The movie is way off the main series, but still I love the movie. And this series actually kind of tickled like that thing that I really was craving, but it didn't make me like laugh or make me happy as much as I was hoping. But still, 8 is a pretty solid thing. I really still enjoyed it, and if you guys are into like those dark magic stuff like this, you guys should definitely check it out. And yeah, that's pretty much it for this first episode, or the first and last, or maybe last episode of this comic book thing. If you guys have any comment suggestions or violent interaction, please do post them down below in the comment section. I'll try my best to get back at you as soon as possible. Anyways, I am out. Bye.